You're watching NFL Daily. Mitchell Renz here from Chat Sports. And coming up, I'm going to give you 9 big-name players that could be post-June 1st trade candidates. I wouldn't be able to do today's show if it wasn't for our awesome sponsor, Aura. And if you're just looking to be safer on the internet, let's face it, we use the internet a lot, right? I mean, you're literally watching this video on the internet right now. So it's aura.com/chatsports. Just make sure your identity isn't stolen, because when I saw this statistic, I was blown away. Every 14 seconds, an identity is stolen. Don't let that be you. We're hooking you guys up with a free trial, aura.com/chatsports. That link is available for y'all in the comments and description of today's video. So I try to figure out big name players that could be potentially dealt. I would say the biggest name out there, where there's a lot of rumors circulating around him, is 49ers quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo. Hell, just a few days ago, head coach Kyle Shanahan said, I expect Jimmy Garoppolo will be traded. Well, if your head coach is saying it, I got to go ahead and talk about it. I do think that one of the biggest reasons, if not the biggest reason, why Jimmy G hasn't been dealt yet, and this is also what Shanahan had to say, it went on hold when the shoulder surgery happened. So he gets shoulder surgery. I also know that teams are like, well, you're trying to get rid of him. You have Trey Lance, so they weren't getting nearly as much. If the 49ers are able to move on from Garoppolo this year, they save $25.55 million in 2022. The question is this: what team wants to go ahead and take on that deal? With every player that I mentioned on today's show, I'm just going to try to do my best to guesstimate which teams could potentially be interested in getting Garoppolo. I'm going to throw out the Houston Texans. He's an upgrade over Davis Mills. The Miami Dolphins, are they actually sold on Tua and the connection with Mike McDaniel? The Atlanta Falcons, he's an upgrade over Mariota. The Seahawks, they have shown interest in Jimmy G or quarterbacks in the past, but what did interdivision trade happen? And then the Carolina Panthers. This has been the team that has been by far the most aggressive going out and trying to get a quarterback. We got 8 more names on this list, but if you haven't already, join the Noti gang. We got new subs coming in left and right all the time. Turn on those notifications. Hit that subscribe button. Here at Chat Sports, we are an interactive show, and I like being able to shout out the people who watch the show all the time. So by having that notification on, you can be one of the very first people to comment. So we did a video, quarterback power rankings, where we ranked every single QB from 32 all the way down to 1. Here were the first 5 comments: the Master German, Brendan Hellinger, Lerone Chance, John Ruiz, and don't think too hard. Don't think too hard. Hit that subscribe button. Turn on those notifications. Let's go to the next name here, and it's N'Keal Harry, wide receiver for the New England Patriots. Hell, Harry asked to be traded last season, right? It's 2021. He was like, I want the heck out of here. I want to be used in a different way. He's never been worth the first-round pick in 2019 coming out of Arizona State. Then the Patriots, they signed Nelson Aguilar last offseason. This year, they trade for Devontae Parker. Devontae Parker and N'Keal Harry are the exact same receiver. They're both 6'4". They're both about 225 pounds. If New England is able to pull off this deal, they do have to eat some money, about $1.3 million, but you save $1.87. If you're telling me right now I can save $1.87, wipe your hands clean, move on from Harry. He also goes ahead and gets a new start for him. I do think it makes sense for both sides. Harry's a big-name receiver. Terry McLaurin might be the biggest name receiver on this list. He is in the final year of his rookie deal with the Washington Commanders. He has made it known that he wants a new contract, and I believe he deserves one. Personally, I think he's one of the most underrated wide receivers in the entire league. If the Commanders are able to move on and trade McLaurin, you save $2.79 million. That's not that much money. Considering the fact that Washington drafted Jahan Dotson does make me wonder what are their future plans, because if their future plans are trying to win, and if their future plans are trying to put Carson Wentz, their new quarterback, in the best possible situation, that's getting him a deal done with McLaurin. I'd give him over $20 million. Personally, I think he's a very, very good player. Now, let's just say you got $20 million sitting in your bank. Even if you don't have that much money, People are always out to try to get your money. It's just the way the world works, which is why I'm super excited that we do have our brand new sponsor, Aura, here. And if you're wondering, all right, man, give me some of the benefits. Why should I start up? Why should I try to get this free trial at aura.com/chatsports? Let me just say, if you don't go to that link below, you're not going to get the 14-day free trial. So you get financial fraud protection, identity theft protection, online and device security, and they even offer family plans to protect 5 people. First off, I'm going to be very transparent with y'all. When I heard about this deal, I'm like, I don't think I'm going to get got. I don't think I would be the person that would click on a link. I don't think somebody would get my identity, right? We all think that. However, I have an aunt who, I'm guarantee you guys all have an aunt as well, where if she would get an email saying, congratulations, you just won a 3 weeks paid vacation to Bermuda, she's going to click on it. Or how many people out there have kids? You give your phone to your child. I can tell you right now, in the last week, I've probably gotten 10 text messages from a random number, and they're trying to get me to click on a link so they can steal my passwords. They can steal my money. They can steal whatever you want. They're phishing. Don't let that happen. Be responsible. Even if you don't think that you'll get got, maybe your family member will. My mom, I love her, but I signed up just for her, man. So it's aura.com/chatsports. Guys, we are using the internet more than ever. If you think you're being smart with your password because you added a question mark or an exclamation point at the end of it, sorry, you might not be that smart. So it's a 14-day free trial at aura.com/chatsports. Give it a shot. It's free. You got nothing to lose. Hopefully, you don't lose your identity. Let's go to the next name here. It's Tyler Lockett, wide receiver for the Seattle Seahawks. I have been told that Seattle loves Dwayne Eskridge, D. Eskridge. They drafted him last season. He's a good player. And Lockett's base salary is only $3 million, and the next 3 years of his contract aren't guaranteed. Personally, if the Seahawks would have kept Russell Wilson, I would not have put Tyler Lockett on this list. But I view Seattle going into a little bit of a rebuild. And if you're able to move on from Lockett, you save $46.5 million over the next 4 years. If you were able to invest that money into other players, like let's just say DK Metcalf, for example, if you want to commit long-term to DK, you might have to end up making a move like this around Tyler Lockett. I love Lockett. I think he brings a lot to the football field. But sometimes you just got to do these things, especially after June 1st. So I just talked about 3 receivers, N'Keal Harry, Terry McLaurin, and then Tyler Lockett. Out of teams that I believe could potentially be interested in going out and getting a receiver, here are 5 names to keep in mind. The Baltimore Ravens, Raiders, Colts, Titans, and the Green Bay Packers. No disrespect to Harry. He doesn't deserve to be put in the name or put up here with these 2 names right here. So let's just say you were an NFL team. You wanted to be aggressive. You wanted to try to go ahead and make a deal. Would you rather try to trade for Terry McLaurin, or would you rather try to go get Tyler Lockett? Type TM for Terry McLaurin, TL for Tyler Lockett. So we went from a quarterback, went wide receiver. Let's now go to the running back position. It's Kareem Hunt, running back of the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland has got a good situation here in their backfield, and they got Nick Chubb. They got Dearness Johnson. Hunt, I will sit up here and say I believe Hunt is a starting level talent at the running back position. He's not going to be a starter on every team, but I would sit up here and say Kareem is a top 32 running back in the league. So for that, I believe he can start. If Cleveland is able to move on from him, they can save $6.25 million if traded. You can also save $6.25 if he is cut. I just think that there would be some team out there, that would just like to have Kareem Hunt, who can still run between the tackles. Yes, he battled a few injuries, but he's still a good running back. Hunt's the first running back I'm going to mention. The next guy, he's the big name. It's Christian McCaffrey. And the Panthers have mentioned McCaffrey multiple times this offseason for a trade partner. Why? Not because they don't like him, not because he's not an incredible player, but since he signed that major deal, he's played in only 10 games. His base salary is only $1.04 million, and the next 3 years of his contract aren't fully guaranteed. So whatever team goes ahead and they trade for him, you're probably going to have to give up a second-round pick at least. You technically get him at a small value this year, and then if it doesn't work out, you can move on from him in the following season since those contracts are not guaranteed. 3 years, not guaranteed. For the Panthers, you end up saving $37.24 million over the next 4 years. If you can guarantee me that McCaffrey's going to be playing, obviously you're okay paying that. But does anybody up here have confidence who's had him in fantasy? If you're a Panthers fan, that McCaffrey's going to play more than just 15 games this year. That I don't have a good answer for you. So we talked about Kareem Hunt. We talked about McCaffrey. Teams that I could see potentially being interested in a running back. The Texans could use an upgrade. The Kansas City Chiefs, personally, I think McCaffrey would be a very interesting fit there. I don't see Kareem Hunt going back. The New Orleans Saints, what's going on with Alvin Kamara? The Detroit Lions, they have a need. And then the Buffalo Bills, not that they have a major need because they got Devin Singletary and some extra depth. But if they believe that they are certain positions away from taking that next step and being the top team in the AFC, Christian McCaffrey would make that Bills offense unbelievable. So which player would you rather trade for? I think everyone watching right now is like, Christian McCaffrey's the better running back than Kareem Hunt. That's not what I'm asking, because when you're trading for a player, you're also trading for his contract. So essentially, $6.25 for Kareem Hunt this year. Or would you technically trade for Christian McCaffrey? You're going to have to give up a little bit more. Let me know. KH for Kareem Hunt, CM for Christian McCaffrey. Those offensive players were there. It's now time to go to the defensive side of the football, where I got 3 names that I want you all to keep in mind, and if you're a Commanders fan, this one might pain you. It's Daron Payne, who walked off the practice field on May 24th. Payne has actually had quite a bit of, we'll say, issues, whether it be games or practices. Remember last year where he got into a fight with other Commanders teammates? I mean, I'm not saying that he's the problem, but I can understand there's some frustration there. He also skipped out team drills over his contract. He's in the final year of his deal, and he wants to be paid. But everything that the Commanders have done, don't sit here and tell me that they look at Payne as being a long-term option. So if Washington is able to move on from him, you save $8.53 million if traded. That's a pretty good value. And for somebody who's coming out of Alabama, there is some talent there. I'm not 100% sure if somebody is going to pay that amount of money. And if they don't, maybe he finds himself as a free agent. Teams that I believe have interest at the defensive tackle position as it stands right now, Miami, the Dolphins. The defense that they run, there's always going to be some interest there. The Las Vegas Raiders, their top DT, Johnathan Hankins, he just had surgery. The Houston Texans need some extra depth. The Titans, the Vikings have been linked to defensive tackles also in recent weeks. The next name coming up here on my potential trade candidates after June 1st is Raiders safety Johnathan Abram. Las Vegas has already declined his 5th-year option. The new regime between Josh McDaniels and Dave Ziegler, they don't really owe Abram anything. And right now, as it stands, the Silver and Black have 8 safeties on their roster. 8 safeties on the roster, already declined his 5th-year option. If traded, the Raiders can save $2.06 million. When I see all of these things happening, the biggest thing that you need to be able to do to succeed in a Patrick Graham system, that's the Raiders' new DC, is be a versatile corner, or versatile safety. Abram simply just isn't that. Guy can't cover. So teams I think could potentially be interested in Johnathan Abram. Houston Texans, Philadelphia Eagles, the Green Bay Packers, Atlanta Falcons, the Jacksonville Jaguars. Before I give you the last name, if you're a fan of the Raiders, if you want more exclusive content from me and other content creators out there, even like Russell Brand, you can go ahead and go to locals.com. If you want more exclusive content from me, go to Raidersport.locals.com, or you can go ahead and scan that QR code. I did a live video yesterday or 2 days ago at this point. I'm going to be doing a live video on Sunday. Extra videos, extra content for the nation. The final name is Jessie Bates. Why? Bates is a hell of a player. Cincinnati wants Bates to be on the team, but Bates wants to be paid like a top safety in the National Football League, and he hasn't signed his franchise tag tender yet, and I don't think he has any plans of signing it. Just a few days ago, 68 players showed up for Bengals practice. One of the guys that didn't show up, Jessie Bates. If they're able to make this move, you save $12.9 million if dealt. So in terms of some Bates destinations, you got the Eagles, the Dolphins, the Raiders, the Lions, the Falcons. Definitely some names to go ahead and throw in there. And before I leave you on today's show, here's going to be my final question. If Jessie wants to be the highest paid safety in the league, should they do it? Should Cincinnati do it? Should the Bengals make Bates the highest paid safety in the league? Type Y for yes, type N for no. And if he is the highest paid safety in the league, should he change his name to Master? All right, y'all, so we're going to wrap this up one more time here, go over the final 9 names of my NFL trade candidates post-June 1st. It's quickly approaching. NFL teams get aggressive. On the offensive side of the football, Jimmy G, N'Keal Harry, Terry McLaurin, Tyler Lockett, Kareem Hunt, and Christian McCaffrey. The final 3 names, Daron Payne, Johnathan Abram, Jessie Bates. So the final thing that I'll ask, because Chat Sports is an interactive YouTube channel, there's plenty of players that could get traded, and I like making videos like this. So before I leave you today, I want you to name a player down in the comments that you believe could be traded after June 1st.